It's hard to believe June is already over. And if I'm being honest, this month's budget looks much worse than I anticipated. We spent nearly $13,000 just in June. And a lot of what you're about to see was actually planned months ago. We had several larger expenses, a couple unexpected expenses that popped up. And then despite all of that, we still hit our investing goals for the month. Now, that's one of the reasons I make these monthly budget videos, to show you exactly how we save thousands of dollars a year by planning for these expenses ahead of time and in bulk. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly where our money went in June, which expenses that we planned for, which ones caught us by surprise, and then how we're setting ourselves up for July. Let's jump into it. Okay, so before we can go through our expenses to find out where our money went, we should check on what money came in so that we can divvy it out into the categories. So we go through income. We do take a W-2. So these weekly checks came through, $8,274. The business income that we pay ourselves each month, so we had $5,394 that come in for this one. And then for interest, that's just the interest that bank pays you to hold some money in the savings account. So $14 for a total of $13,683 for us here in the month of June. Now, as we go down, you'll see that I actually categorize our budget in categories, usually by the largest expenses that you'll see every month, such as housing, auto, food, and then the miscellaneous stuff that comes in. So let's take a look at housing here. So our mortgage came in just as normal, $2,142. Now this home insurance expense, this one was actually something that we planned to be much higher. We use a broker and he goes around and shops 40, 50 different companies with our information, trying to get us the best deal. That's why I highly recommend de-escrowing your insurance and giving it to a broker that could shop multiple companies, not just someone that works at American Family or Progressive, one that works with a ton of different companies that can shop them around and get you the best deal. So we originally planned $250 to $300 a month for this, expecting more than what we paid last year. It was around $2,900. So in our mind, we're expecting between $3,000 to $3,500. It actually came in cheaper. So he was able to look at two different companies, the one we're currently with, and then a different one, and they came in within $100 of each other. Fantastic, cheaper than even what we paid last year. So we went ahead and stayed with the same company. They've been good to us, and it was $40, $50 difference, so we decided to stay. So this actually came out cheaper to $2,660, and we had actually saved up over the course of a year, $2,700. The reason why I de-escrow this is because when you pay it all in once, all at one time, you usually get a good 10%, 15% discount when you prepay rather than paying it monthly. So we went ahead and just paid it once, take that $250, $300 savings, and then move on to the next one. So that brings us to gas and electric. We have a co-op where we live. So we have a few months a year where they give back and have a little bit cheaper bills than expected, which is why you see only $56 here for both gas and electric. So this is actually cheaper than normal. We usually budget between $200 to $250 for here. Water, right around what we expect. We budget $160, came in at $163. That's why it zeroes out. Home improvement. This is a budget item that I highly recommend between home improvement, home maintenance, whatever you want to call it. Have it set aside and start putting money aside. This is whether you own just a primary residence or if you have rental properties. Whether you're bringing money in, you should set aside between 10 and 20% because things will happen. And you see that we spent $1,929. This was one of those unexpected surprises that popped up. It says, oh, well, hey, we have another $2,000 we got to pay. But it's okay because we've set money aside for a home improvement or home maintenance budget. So totally fine. We had money sitting aside in our savings account for it. So we just wrote the check, got it done, and then even budgeted another $300 to continue on into the next month. Now this brings us down to pest control. The reason why you see $64 budgeted with 64 rolling over, for some odd reason, our pest control company bills every other month. So instead of having one month where it's $130 and another month where it's lower, we just kind of flattened it out and did half this month, roll it over, and then you'll see another $64 next month, then they'll charge the card and it zeroes out just fine. So we already set the money aside every month, even though they charge every other. It's kind of a weird way they do it. Lawn care, we spent $215 on lawn care. We've decided to try fertilizing and all that fun stuff this year. So that's why our expenses are a little higher, if you remember from last year. So as we come down to the auto and car payment section, car payments are one of the largest wealth killers in America right now. The average car payment, I believe, just broke over $800 a month per new car. So if you have a family, you're talking $1,600 a month in car payments. just to have the car, let alone insurance and gas, the cost to maintain it. We don't want any of that. So if you remember from our savings challenge we did, we saved up and cash flowed buying my wife a new car and trading in her other one. So that way we had a much stronger position going into the dealership because we knew what we could afford. And we knew that we were already over. We had tax, title, license, all that calculated. So we knew we were going in there and either leaving with the vehicle or going somewhere else. That is how we do it. It's pretty much like paying a car payment, but you stick it in a savings account where the interest grows to you, not to some bank giving you an interest auto loan. So then when it's time to go buy, you actually have the money and you can just write the check right there and drive the car home. So that's something that we got rid of right away. So to the auto insurance, this is one that actually surprised us. So last year we paid around $1,700 for both cars, and that was with the old vehicle that my wife had. So we expected $2,000 will probably be what it'll be for this year, maybe a little more. And we ended up getting the quote from our current company that we had, and it was $2,400. A little bit more of a jump than we anticipated, but it's a new car. Probably I can understand it. So we went ahead and shot it over to our broker, says, hey, can you reprice our home and auto? Home came in great, cheaper than what we paid last year. So that's good. And then this one actually came in half of the company that we had. So rather than paying the $2,400 for my car and her brand new car, we just paid $1,252 for both, which was awesome. We are very thankful for him. He's great. If you want to use him, I could totally give you his number or give you his contact down. Just let me know, share a comment down below, and I'll send it over to you. Auto maintenance, this is another one. We set $150, $200 a month aside just to be able to build up a nest egg in case something happens. I know my car will be needing new tires here probably by next year, and those cost us around $1,700 last time to get a new set. So $1,800 is the minimum that we want in here. So if anything, we'll start adding this up in case there's other maintenance or repairs that need to be done right away. Vehicle registration, we put $100 per month here because by the time that we're going to need these in our state, it's not a flat fee. It's actually based on the price that you pay for the car. So it can get fairly expensive. It could be $600 to $800 per car for the year. And we don't want to all of a sudden be writing a check for $1,600. We want it planned. So we went ahead and said $100 per month aside and have it as a rolled over so it builds every month. So $100 a month per there. And then for the car wash, we ended up washing both of our cars this month. So we paid $43 towards one of those really fancy washes that had all the wipes. We could wipe out the interior. So my son and I washed both my car and my wife's. This brings us down to our next biggest category. We are foodies. We love to eat. So groceries, we only spent about $528 for the month, which was fine. Restaurants, we went over budget. We usually budget $400. We went to $444. And then for fast food, we usually budget around $150 to $200, and we went $218. So not too far over, but we did go over. And then coffee shops, I ended up going to coffee shops a few times, and I'll explain why a little later, with $67. So I went ahead and budgeted that. It's not something I had in the budget, but it's there. So we spent the money, I allocated it. And then being the fact that we saved around $170 from our grocery budget, it kind of covers what we went over on the others. So perfectly fine. I'm good with that. Phone bill, same bill that comes in every month, $139. Subscriptions, this used to be over $100. We started just really cutting back on some of the subscriptions that we maybe only watch one show for. So we just decided we would just cut that and try to cut this, $10, $20 a month down. So if you guys have watched these budget videos before, we are big travelers. So food and travel is really big for us to enjoy life. So we actually set a monthly budget item of $1,000, sometimes less, sometimes more, to go towards travel. We have a vacation coming up here in next month. So we want to be able to budget enough into this rollover fund where we don't have to worry about how much we're spending once we're actually on vacation. So we'll have money set aside. So we put $1,000 here for $3,901 rolling over into the month of July. And then we have childcare. The reason why you see childcare here is because we did have our baby. She was born on June 16th. I'll see if I can get a picture and put her up here on screen. She is adorable. One of the reasons we did go over on our food budget is because my wife and I had to go to the hospital for a few days to have her. And then while she was there, I was just making sure anything that she was craving, I was bringing to her so that she can enjoy it during her time when her and the baby were just at the hospital together. So we are now paying for a little bit of childcare. So $600 went there for this month, which is perfectly fine. That's okay. As you scroll down here, we have my least favorite category. This is shopping electronics. I don't usually shop very often, but this was a special occasion. So on June 1st, our oldest turned 14, and he's been helping me wash the car. He's been, mowing our lawn, and I wanted to get him something special, and he's been wanting AirPods. So we went ahead and bought him a set of AirPods, And turns out mine were just kind of on the fritz anyway, so I went ahead and bought myself a pair. So this electronics budget is $267 for AirPods. So as I scroll down here, we have health and wellness. If you know anything about going to the hospital here in America, you go to the hospital for anything that's hurting you, and you will not stop receiving bills for months later while they say some things were in network, some things were out of network, they forgot to bill you about something. So we've known this. And for the last 10 months, we've been saving $500 to $1,500 whenever we can to set aside toward this kind of rollover budget. This is going to be our medical budget for the birth of the baby. And then our oldest is going to need some dental work. So we're setting some money aside for that. You can see that we actually ended up getting our teeth cleaned. So this cost us around $881. So we have $5,500 almost saved up going into July just for dentist expense for, if we need teeth whitening, teeth cleanings, or if he needs additional dental work. So we have this money being set aside just for that. And then fitness, we ended up buying some extra parts for some gym equipment downstairs so that we spent $90 on. And then haircuts, boys and I get haircuts all the time every month. So this cost us $209. Gifts, this was for my oldest birthday. We ended up taking my entire family out to eat so they could enjoy it, along with his set of AirPods that he wanted, and then some other gifts that we bought. It was around $868. This is something that I'm glad to spend money on. I'll probably turn over into a larger rollover fund here in the future, just because we will have more birthdays coming up here in the fall. So I want to be able to have some money set aside for them as we scooter down. And then insurance down here below is $14, just a life insurance policy that we pay for, which brings our total to $12,922, almost $13,000 for the entire month. Now, this is a little misconceiving because we had a lot of this money already set over in rollover funds. As you can see, as we scroll up, you have that almost $4,000 in travel, you have auto maintenance, the auto insurance, the home insurance. That money did get deducted, but we've been saving it every month, which is one of the great things. As you go to save up for these things and you know they're coming next year, you might as well put that money aside into a high yield savings account and just let it grow, earn interest for you until you have to make that payment. It's free interest for you for doing the same thing that you're going to be doing anyway, instead of just paying the insurance company every month. So that's why we really enjoy using Monarch Money. We get these rollover funds. It lets us know how much we're either ahead or behind to try to hit that certain number going into when we will be charged for that service. Okay, so since we invested $3,100 this month, we're going to take that off the top. So out of $4,924 still left to budget, $3,100 got sent over to the brokerage account. So that is gone from the budget. So we have $1,824 to put into some category where we want to fluff up because we know something's coming. So as we come down here, we could put it into home improvement. This home insurance, we're already $40 ahead. I'm not too worried about that. Especially with the auto insurance, we're already almost $400 because we were expecting it to be a lot higher. So that's fine. Auto maintenance, let's go ahead and bump this up. Let's see, as we come down here, the travel fund, I'm not too worried about as of right now. And just because we could see some large medical bills, we already just saw a letter they sent us that said, if the new baby that doesn't have a social security number yet, if we don't input it into their system, we could be charged at least $4,000 for one bill for her. So let's go ahead and put $1,000 here, not for each month. So we're going to uncheck that box, which leaves us with $3,674, which means $574 more dollars we could put somewhere. I say let's bump up the home improvement budget a bit. So let's do $874 here, and that should equal it out to $3,100 that we sent over to the brokerage account. So for us, we use a zero-based budgeting method. Just so we put everything into, not necessarily into an investment or a particular debt pay down plan. We know where the money's going, but we still have it. And I don't like having 10 different savings accounts, all with a bunch of different categories, and you're moving it around, actually doing transfers between accounts or moving it between vaults. I just want it right here. So if I needed to, I could click here and move it from one category to another. That is possible. So if we end up over saving in our medical budget, I could just move it into home improvement, and that's fine. If I want to keep, say, $2,000, $3,000 in the medical budget after all bills are paid and we still have extra, I could just move it into another budget, which is fine. I like how it's easy here, and I only need a high yield savings account and a checking account, and then our investments. That's it. I don't need a bunch of different open accounts at a bunch of different banks that could potentially get hacked or have fraudulent charges on the card. I don't need a lot of that headache. So we like to keep it easy. We'll just have Monarch do a lot of the heavy lifting. So we went ahead and put $874 here, and it bumped this rollover fund for the home improvement budget up to $4,044. Now let's head over to July to see kind of what we have set up and how we can kind of plan ahead for the month before we even start. Okay, so similar to June, we'll start with the money coming in. Okay, so I did check the calendar, and since since we get paid weekly, July is actually a 5 payment month, similar to when you get the 3 payments in say April, October, when you have a little bit longer months. So for us, we're actually going to be bringing in 10,342, one of which has already actually hit the account. And then business income, $5,246. This could change maybe later in the month. We don't know yet. And then we might even have some stuff we're going to sell on Facebook Marketplace. But as of right now, we'll leave it here. $6 in interest that the bank paid us, a whopping $6. Imagine that. Housing, we know the mortgage is going to be the same. They already took that out. Home insurance, $250. We actually bumped this down from $300 just because with $250, by the time we get to next year, we could start decreasing this heading in, or we could be ahead for when they charge it, and then we'll have a nice couple $100 overage, similar to auto insurance for June. So we'll go ahead and keep that at $250. Gas and electric, that's been pretty normal for summer months. So I'll leave it at $250 instead of bringing it down. So even if we had a cheap month, I don't trust it. So I'll leave it up. Water, we'll leave it $200. Home improvement, $500 is good for now. This should actually read something a little different. $4,544 in the rollover fund. We'll leave that for now. Since it's a 5 paycheck month, we might be able to bump up this category, but I'll leave that there for now until the end of the month when we do our reconciliation. And then pest control, that $64 we saw in June adds to $64 we put in July, and now we have $128. So when they bill us, it'll zero out, we move it over, it's fine. Lawn care, we'll go ahead and budget $200, $60 of which has already been paid. Auto payments, like I said, we don't pay one. Auto insurance, we'll set aside $100 for next year's payment. So we're paying it way ahead of time. We actually brought this down from $150 to $200. So this is another savings that we're going to get every month by just using it, setting it aside every month for the following year, not just paying it to the insurance company. Plus, the setting aside in our savings account, we get to earn the interest instead. So that's a bonus. Auto maintenance, we'll set aside $150 for now. That brings us to $2,200. Vehicle registration, like I said, those can get expensive. We'll set aside $100 for now, which brings us to $280, and we'll see where it takes us here. Groceries, we usually budget $700. We're at $171. That's fine. This could go up, could go down. I usually just go what the average is, and then we'll tweak as needed. Restaurants, $400 budgeted. $152 has already been spent. We already did go to breakfast yesterday for the 4th, so $248 is still left over. This could yet rise just because I've been wanting to really treat my wife to date nights, so I'm okay writing this a little higher. That is perfectly fine. And then fast food, if this is one budget I would take out of. So $200, let's go down to $150, and I'll try to limit myself. Once I hit the $150 budget, I'll check it again in about a week, 2 weeks, and if we're starting to get close to that $150, I could bump it back to $200 if needed. If not, I could throw it in the restaurant budget and enjoy another date night with the wife. Bills, phone bill, we know what that's going to be. Subscriptions, we budgeted $88. Right now it's at $30. I'll leave it there for now. Travel and vacation, another $1,000. This brings us to almost $5,000 set aside in that travel fund. Perfectly fine. I want that there. Children, this is where I'll actually put $600 in childcare because it's not normal. And then I do want to check this box of apply $600 to all future payments. So that way we have childcare kind of already budgeted in for the meantime. Shopping, yet again, one of those that I do not like doing. I went ahead and turned this into a rollover fund because occasionally, once a year or something, I do end up going shopping for myself. If I'm shopping for other people, that's usually under the gifts category. If it's for myself, it's usually under the shopping category. But I hate shopping for myself. So I never use a rollover fund. I might as well because I do occasionally once a year. So we'll go ahead and set it $100 aside and just let it accumulate until, I don't know, I can get new socks or something. Medical, this is where that $500, now we break almost $11,000 set aside for this one. I have a feeling with the birth of the new baby, it's going to be expensive. We know that. This is our 3rd. So I'm okay. Just keep stacking cash in here until eventually we receive the last bill. They tell us we're all in the clear, and then we can move the budget around. But until then, I'm going to keep putting money here because those bills never stop. Dentist, we'll stick another $500. That brings us up to $6,000 in case our oldest needs braces. Haircuts, I'll actually raise this to $200. We'll even do it future months. So my oldest and I have been getting haircuts more frequently, and then our middle child has actually been starting to want to get haircuts again. So we'll put a little bit more money in the budget here. Gifts, we'll put $300 and let it roll over. That way, in case we have other birthdays, we'll have that set aside, and then it'll start to accumulate. So when those birthdays come, or the Christmases, or any gifts that we need to get, we have money set aside exactly for that. And then life insurance that I took out for the month, of course, they take out that one out pretty quick. And then no capital investments into anything that I think we could do this month yet. We know and we budget for many of these expenses here. If we can actively reduce them, that's the win. For every dollar that we save and does not come into this expense category is a win. I mean, that is 100% earned. So whenever we can cut the $20 subscriptions, if we can save hundreds of dollars by paying for our insurance ahead of time, whether this travel fund, if we have the money set aside so we know what budget, we're not just swiping the credit card as we go and saying, we'll think about it later and we'll cut back on other things. We already know what the budget is. So that's why I personally like using Monarch Money. It helps us keep everything. I know Gabby Peterson, if you guys follow her, she also had another high month in June, and totally feel you. I know she sells a spreadsheet. It is amazing. I have bought it and use it occasionally. I just couldn't be as disciplined with it as she is. So I have Monarch Money automate everything. So this, as soon as it comes into the account or goes out of the account, they tell me right away saying, which category do you want to put this in? And then I just hit the category. It auto fills out. It even brings out these other reports. So if we want to know our savings rate, total income for the month, total expenses so far, and our savings rate, it's automatically calculated, and it even gives you down per category. I really like Monarch Money because they take a lot of the hands-on headache away from budgeting, where I can just look at it, see if I'm high, low, or approaching where I need to be, and then I can make decisions from there. So it gives me exactly all the info that I need, nothing more. Don't have to do a bunch of work, not trying to type something in at a restaurant, including the tip, because it's going to come across different. I don't want any of that. I let Monarch Money do all the work. So looking back at June, being able to save as much money as we did on car insurance by utilizing the broker easily paid for our long weekend we had in Chicago. Now, budgeting isn't always about living life like a hermit. My family likes to travel, so we created a budget line specifically to set aside money so we can travel without the guilt. And if you're a foodie and like going out to eat, you shouldn't have to give up a weekly date night or stopping on the way home from work when you're tired. The large expenses this month were emergencies that threw our finances into chaos. Most of them were things that we knew were coming, and we had already built them into our budget. That's exactly what budgeting has done for our family. Now, it hasn't stopped us from spending money. It's given us the confidence to spend money on the things that matter without wondering if we're falling behind. And when unexpected expenses do show up, which they always seem to, we already know how they fit into the bigger picture. And that's why I continue using Monarch Money every single day. It takes me about 2 minutes to review every transaction that comes in, keeps all of our accounts in a single place, and makes it incredibly easy to stay on top of our budget, our investments, and our financial savings goals. If you've been looking for a budgeting app, I'll leave my Monarch link down below where you can save 50% off on your first year. You don't have to use it, but why not save $40 right away? And if you're trying to build a budget like this, but don't know where to start, I offer one-on-one financial coaching where we'll go through your income, your expenses, and your goals together to build a system that works for your life the way you want to live it, not the way someone tells you to. So for everyone watching on YouTube, you can use the coupon code SHIELDLINE to receive 50% off a full coaching plan or just a single session to help get you set up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.